She was only a village girl laughing by the riverbank when suddenly the water rose and pulled her beneath the surface. When her eyes opened, she was no longer in her world, but trapped inside a palace of pearls surrounded by mermaids whose eyes burned like fire. They ordered her to work or drown, but Lena refused to bow even when sharp rocks cut her hands and the waves tried to break her spirit. They whispered that she would fail, yet she stood taller than fear, and in the middle of her struggle a merman with kind eyes swam close. His voice soft like the tide, he warned her, "They will crush you if you stay." And Lena looked at him through the glittering water, her lips trembling into a smile, and said, "Then I will be the first to survive." Settle back and watch this story till the end. And do not forget to subscribe before the current pulls you away. Long before the sun rose over the tall palm trees of Etemo village, the farmers were already on their way to the fields. Goats bleated, roosters crowed, women's laughter floated through the air as they balanced calabashes of water on their heads. Life was simple, quiet, and beautiful. But in every quiet village, there's always one child who does not follow the rules. In Etemo, that child was Lena. Lena was not like the other girls. While her friends learned how to weave mats or pound yam, she was always by the river. She said the water called to her. Her mother, Mama Eve, would scold her. "Lena, my daughter, the river is not your friend. Do you want the spirits to carry you away?" But Lena only laughed and splashed her bare feet in the current. Her father, Papa Daro, shook his head each time he saw her. "This girl has a stubborn spirit," he muttered. "She listens only to her own heartbeat." The elders in the village whispered that Lena's curiosity would one day bring trouble. But Lena did not care. She said the river whispered secrets to her, and she wanted to hear them all. One bright morning, when the market drums were beating and everyone was busy, Lena slipped away to the far end of the river. She hummed to herself as she walked, swinging her small basket, pretending she was only going to fetch firewood. But her feet carried her straight to the place everyone feared, the deep pool where the water turned dark green and the air grew strangely cold. The villagers told stories about that pool. They said mermaids lived there, creatures half human, half fish, with eyes like moonlight and voices that could trap a soul forever. Children were warned never to go near it. Even hunters avoided that path at night. But to Lena, the stories were like music. She wanted to see for herself. She leaned over the water and saw her reflection. Her wide eyes sparkled. Her braids hung loose over her shoulders. She smiled, proud of her daring. Then she heard it, soft singing, rising from beneath the rippling surface. It was sweet and sad, like the sound of a flute drifting across the hills. Lena froze. Her heart raced, but her curiosity burned brighter. She leaned closer. Suddenly, the water moved. A hand, pale, smooth, and shimmering, broke through the surface. Lena gasped, stumbling back, but before she could run, another hand gripped her wrist. The singing grew louder, wrapping around her like ropes. She tried to scream, but the sound caught in her throat. The villagers later said they heard a splash, then silence. Only Lena's small basket remained by the bank, half filled with dry sticks. Mama Eve cried when she found it. Papa Daro searched the forest, calling her name until his voice cracked. The elders gathered and shook their heads. The water has claimed her. The child who would not listen has gone to the deep. But under the water, far from the cries of her family, Lena's story was only beginning. When Lena opened her eyes, the world around her glowed blue and silver. She was no longer in the river of Etemo. She lay on soft sand that shimmered like crushed glass. Strange fish with glowing fins swam above her, and tall plants waved gently as if they were alive. She tried to sit up, but her body felt heavy, her arms weak. "Do not move too quickly," a voice said. It was soft, like the brush of wind on leaves. Lena turned her head and gasped. Standing over her was a woman whose hair floated like long threads of silk. Her skin shimmered like the inside of a seashell, her eyes bright as the moon. But where her legs should have been, a long tail of silver scales flicked slowly back and forth. Lena's heart pounded. "It is true," she thought. "The mermaids are real." The woman tilted her head. "You should not have come so close to our pool, child of the land. The river does not give back what it takes." "I want to go home," Lena whispered, her voice shaking. "My mother will be looking for me. Please let me go." The mermaid smiled, but there was no kindness in it. "Home? You belong to us now. The river chose you." Lena struggled to her feet, but more figures appeared around her. They glided through the water with ease, their eyes glowing, their tails shimmering in colors of green, blue, and gold. They circled her like hawks circling prey. One of them, taller than the rest, with hair dark as night, swam forward. His face was sharp, his voice commanding. You broke the law of the deep. No land child may see us and return. You will serve here, in the Palace of Pearls. I will not, Lena cried, her stubborn spirit flaring even in fear. I am not a servant. I am Lena of Atemo village. My mother says my spirit is strong, and my father says my feet walk only where my heart tells them. I will not stay here. The mermaids hissed, their voices like snakes. Some laughed, their laughter bubbling like water over rocks. The tall one's eyes narrowed. He raised his hand, and the water around Lena grew heavy. She sank to her knees, gasping, her chest tight. You will learn respect, he said coldly. Until then, you will work among the pearls. Two mermaids pulled her by the arms and dragged her through a long tunnel that glowed with strange lights. At the end was a great hall, its walls lined with shells that shimmered with every color of the rainbow. Piles of pearls lay stacked like mountains. This is your prison, one hissed. Sort the pearls. Clean them, day and night. They pushed her down and left. Lena sat in the glittering hall, her heart pounding. She thought of her mother's face, her father's warnings, the laughter of her friends at the stream. Tears filled her eyes, but she wiped them away quickly. I will not break, she whispered to herself. Even if they trap me here forever, I will not break. Far in the shadows, one pair of eyes watched her quietly, not mocking, not cruel, but curious. Days passed in the Pearl Hall. Lena's hands grew sore from sorting, her back ached, but her spirit did not bend. Each time the guards hissed at her, she lifted her chin higher. Each time they mocked her, she whispered to herself, I am Lena of Atemo. I will not break. But loneliness pressed heavy on her heart. No laughter of her friends. No voice of Mama Eve calling her for supper. No Papa Daro humming as he sharpened his hoe. Only the endless shimmer of pearls and the sound of water shifting above her head. One night, as she sat with her arms wrapped around her knees, she felt eyes on her. From the shadows, a figure swam closer. He was not like the others. His tail was darker, almost bronze, and his face softer. His name, she would soon learn, was Kumo. Why do you not cry like the others did? He asked quietly, his voice calm. Because tears will not take me home, Lena answered, her stubbornness shining even in despair. Kumo tilted his head. Most who are brought here give up. They bend like reeds in the water. But you stand tall, even when the weight of the deep presses on you. Lena narrowed her eyes. Do not speak kindly if it is a trick. I know the others laugh when I refuse to bow. Are you here to laugh too? He shook his head slowly. No, I am not like them. My mother was of the deep, but my father, he was a traveler from the land. I do not belong fully to either world. Lena's breath caught, half of the deep, half of the land. She had never heard such a thing. Kumo swam closer, lowering his voice. There is a prophecy, whispered by the elders of the current. They say a child born of land and sea will rise one day. That child will either bring peace between our worlds or destroy both. The words sent shivers down Lena's spine. She shook her head firmly. I am only a girl. I am no prophecy. Kumo's eyes softened. Perhaps. But the river does not pull without reason. Before Lena could answer, a sharp voice echoed through the hall. The tall leader, the one who had sentenced her, appeared at the entrance. His tail shimmered dark green, his eyes burning. Kumo, he barked. Why do you speak to the prisoner? Kumo straightened, bowing his head slightly. I was guarding her. Guarding? The leader's voice dripped with disdain. Do not waste your time. She is nothing but a stubborn land child. Soon, her pride will crumble like sand. He turned his gaze on Lena. You will learn, or you will drown in sorrow. With a swirl of his tail, he left, the water trembling in his wake. Kumo lingered for a moment longer, then whispered quickly, do not let them break you. The prophecy has begun. And with that, he disappeared into the shadows, leaving Lena alone with her racing heart. For the first time, Lena's stubbornness wavered, not with fear, but with something new, curiosity. The next morning, the Pearl Hall was colder than usual. The mermaids moved with sharp tails and sharper tongues, whispering as Lena walked in with her basket. She could feel their eyes pierce her skin like hooks. Something was different. Something heavy pressed against the water. The leader, whose name the others murmured as Zalira, floated before her with a cruel smile. Today, Zalira hissed, we will test your pride. If you are truly stronger than the current, let us see if you can fight against it. Before Lena could ask what she meant, 2 guards grabbed her arms and pulled her through the water. They dragged her down a dark tunnel, deeper into the abyss. Her lungs tightened, fear scratching at her chest. At last, they threw her into a cavern where the current raged wild and angry, pulling in every direction like 1,000 invisible hands. "You will sort pearls here," Zalira declared, tossing a basket at her feet. "But be warned, if you let one pearl escape into the current, you will chase it, or drown." The guards laughed as they swam away, leaving her alone. Lena stared at the swirling water, her heart hammering. The currents whipped at her hair, tugged at her arms. As if eager to claim her, she clenched her fists. "They want me to break. They want me to bow. But I am Lina of Atemo. I will not bend." Her hands shook as she reached for the first pearl. The current yanked it from her grasp, spinning it toward the dark tunnel. Without thinking, she lunged after it, pushing with all her strength. Her fingers closed around it just before it vanished into the shadows. Breathless, she clutched it to her chest. 1 pearl saved, dozens more to go. Hours passed. Her muscles screamed. Her fingers bled from scraping against sharp rocks. Her body begged her to stop, but her pride refused. Each time a pearl slipped, she chased it. Each time the current pushed her down, she fought to rise again. When her strength nearly failed her, a shadow slipped into the cavern. It was Kumo. His eyes widened at the sight of her trembling, clutching pearls to her chest like precious jewels. "They will break you if you stay," he whispered urgently, swimming close. "This current was meant to crush even the strongest. No one survives it for long." Lena's lips curved into a weary but defiant smile. "Then I will be the first." Kumo stared at her, torn between admiration and sorrow. "You are stubborn beyond reason, or strong beyond fear," she replied. For a moment, silence stretched between them. Then Kumo reached out, his hand brushing hers as he steadied her against the pull of the current. His touch was gentle, not like the cruel grip of the guards. "I cannot save you from them," he whispered, "but I can keep you from drowning tonight." Together, they worked in silence, steadying pearls against the raging water. And though exhaustion weighed heavy on her bones, Lena felt a flicker of something she had not felt since the day she was taken, hope.